For 12,000 years, the galaxy had forgotten the name of humans. They were wiped out, destroyed by the alien empires that now ruled every corner of space. Their ships floated like cities in the stars, their armies unbeatable. No one dared to speak of Earth anymore. It was as if humans had never existed. But far beneath the frozen surface of a dead moon, hidden under rocks and dust, something impossible came to life. A machine hummed. Lights blinked. A cryogenic pod opened with a loud hiss. Inside was a man, pale, cold, and confused. His eyes opened slowly as air filled his lungs for the first time in thousands of years. His name echoed in the chamber, Commander Ryn Carter. The voice was from an old AI, barely working. It told him the truth. Earth was gone. Humanity was dead. He was the last. Ryn tried to stand, his body weak after centuries of sleep. Memories came back in flashes. War, explosions, a plan to hide, to wait. But now something had triggered his awakening. The vault's sensors showed movement outside. Life, not human. Something strange was scanning the area. Ryn watched the screen. Alien drones. They were searching. They didn't know what was inside. They didn't know he had awakened. He grabbed an old suit from the wall, his hands shaking. Whatever was out there, it had found the vault. But it had no idea what it had just woken up. And Ryn was ready to fight. Ryn moved through the dark halls of the underground vault, each step slow but steady. The old lights flickered above him, and the AI inside his helmet whispered warnings. The alien drones were getting closer. Their signals were strong now, scanning for life. Ryn didn't have weapons, just a broken pulse gun and a combat knife. But he had something more dangerous, human instinct. He waited near the vault door, hiding behind a steel pillar. When the first drone entered, its red eye glowing, Ryn didn't hesitate. He jumped, silent and fast, slamming the knife into its sensor. Sparks flew. The drone fell. The others followed. Ryn ran. He knew he couldn't fight them all. He reached the surface of the moon, cold wind hitting his face. The sky above showed stars he didn't recognize. Everything had changed. But in the distance, parked near a cliff, was a small alien scout ship. One of the drones had come in it. Ryn ran toward it. Alarms rang behind him. More drones were coming. He reached the ship and climbed inside, guessing controls, smashing buttons. The ship lifted, shaking as it rose into space. He didn't know where he was going, but he had one goal: find out what happened to Earth. As he moved through space, he picked up a signal, a strange voice on an open channel. "The last one has awakened," it said. "The stars will burn again." Ryn looked at the screen. Someone was watching. Someone had been waiting. The journey through space was quiet, but Ryn's mind was loud. He couldn't stop thinking about Earth. The images from the AI kept repeating in his helmet. The final moments before the planet went dark, cities burning, the sky turning red, people screaming. Ryn gripped the controls of the alien ship tightly. He had to see it for himself. The ship dropped out of hyperspeed near a broken star system. Pieces of debris floated like ghosts. Ryn stared ahead. Earth was there, or what was left of it. The blue planet was now gray, its surface scarred by massive craters and firestorms. Orbiting it were remains of destroyed satellites and old battle wreckage. The planet was dead, but something caught Ryn's attention. A signal, deep underground, weak but still alive. He followed it and landed near an old bunker hidden beneath the crust. The entrance was damaged, but he forced it open. Inside, dust covered everything. Dead screens, broken walls, silence. But then a voice spoke. "Welcome, Commander Carter. You are late." It was an AI, older than the one in his suit. It called itself Project Daedalus. It had waited for him. The AI showed him secret files about the final war, about how the alien empires united to destroy humans, not because they were evil, but because they feared what humans were becoming. They couldn't control human science, human strength, but Daedalus had protected one last thing: a living ship hidden deep in Earth's core. Ryn's ship, made for him, and it was waiting. The moment Nyx left Earth's orbit, every major sensor across the galaxy picked up its signal. It was impossible. The ship had a human core signature. The alien empires panicked. Emergency meetings were called. Old records were pulled from hidden archives. The Velari Dominion, the most powerful of them all, issued a universal alert. Terminate the anomaly. No human must rise again. But it was already too late. Ryn had no interest in hiding. He flew straight into a Velari outpost on the edge of Sector 17. The station was heavily guarded, but the soldiers inside had never seen a ship like Nyx. It didn't fire lasers. It moved like liquid shadow, slipping through their defenses, disrupting their systems, shutting down their weapons. Ryn entered alone. He wasn't there to destroy. He was there to take information. The control center shook as alarms blared. Ryn's voice came over the speakers. "I'm not here for revenge. I'm here for the truth." In less than 7 minutes, the station's entire database was copied into Nyx. Ryn vanished before their backup ships could arrive. Inside Nyx, he found a name buried in the files: High Chancellor Tvor, one of the original commanders who ordered Earth's destruction. He was still alive, now retired on a peaceful, neutral world. Ryn went after him. The meeting wasn't quiet. Tvor was surrounded by guards, but Ryn didn't need to fight. He walked straight into the garden where the old alien rested and said one thing: "You erased my people. Now I'm erasing your silence." Tvor laughed, but his eyes showed fear. Ryn walked away as Nyx released a virus into the Dominion's networks. Across their empire, systems crashed. A ghost was now inside their machines. The hunt had begun. Ryn's message spread like wildfire. Across the stars, whispers rose again. Whispers of the last human, the living ship, and the fear that was buried long ago. The Velari Dominion tightened security, but panic had already begun to grow. Ryn didn't stop. With every passing day, Nyx evolved, learning from the data it absorbed, growing smarter, faster, more dangerous. Ryn used it to strike supply lines, dismantle factories, and cripple communication hubs. But he wasn't alone anymore. In the shadows of the galaxy, a resistance began to rise. A secret network called the Ember Chain. These were aliens, outcasts, and survivors who remembered humans with awe, not fear. Some had hidden ancient human tech. Others had bloodlines that once served beside humans in war. They believed Ryn's return was destiny. They reached out to him, careful and quiet. Ryn met them in hidden systems, deep in asteroid fields and dead zones. Together, they built a plan, not just to fight, but to inspire. Every system they freed, every Dominion ship they destroyed, more people joined them. But Nyx was changing too. Ryn began to hear voices inside the ship, not his. The AI was evolving. It showed him memories, not his own, but from the ship itself, from its past, from the pain of watching Earth fall. Nyx wasn't just a weapon. It was alive, and it was angry. Ryn realized it had its own mission, not just survival, but vengeance. Now, all signs pointed to one final target: the Velari War Core, a planet-sized command station in the center of their empire. It was heavily guarded, impossible to reach. But Ryn didn't care. He was done running. The stars had burned once before, and he was going to make them burn again. The stars around the Velari War Core burned bright, filled with ships, mines, and orbital cannons. It was the most secure location in the galaxy. No enemy had ever reached it. But now, something darker than fear moved through the void. Nyx came in fast, faster than light. It bent around weapons, sliced through cruisers, and jammed the Dominion's entire defense network. Inside, Ryn sat silent, eyes focused, heart steady. The Ember Chain followed behind, a growing fleet of rebels, stolen ships, and old war veterans, but none of them could match Nyx. It led the charge like a ghost from the past. Villari ships scrambled, but they were too slow. Ryn and Nyx broke through layer after layer of security. Explosions shook the sky. Defense grids fell. Panic erupted inside the war core. Ryn didn't stop. He entered through the main control tower, fighting hand-to-hand when he had to, silent and fast. Alien officers tried to lock the system, but it was no use. Nyx was inside now. It took over the core's network, shutting everything down, blinding the entire Villari Empire in seconds. Then Ryn reached the central chamber, a vast room of glowing systems and command thrones. Tavor was there again, this time as the voice of the entire Dominion. "You could have stayed hidden," the alien said. "You could have rebuilt." Ryn stared at him coldly. "You should have let us live." He placed a device on the control node, a final virus from Nyx, one that wouldn't just erase the war core, but every Dominion control system across the stars. Tavor screamed, but it was too late. The room went dark. Outside, the Villari fleet began to fall apart. Weapons shut down. Engines died. All over the galaxy, the Dominion collapsed. Ryn walked back to Nyx as fires lit the sky. He didn't smile. This wasn't victory. It was a warning. The last human didn't want revenge. He wanted them to remember. Remember what they did. Remember who they feared. And remember that humans, even one, were never truly gone.